No, probably not. That are eligible, that are actually racing. Uh, Duel won't be racing. Patton won't be racing. So like 11-ish. No, he'll be racing. Mm-mm. Thought we'd have a few more people in the open.
So you say Papa 5 isn't going to race?
No, he is.
Oh, he is. Okay. Gotcha. Big junk on the backstretch. That really was big junk on the backstretch. Mm.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the inaugural broadcast of Integrity Broadcasting Network. I'm here with Chance Manning tonight as we are at Texas Motor Speedway and getting ready to start the Open. This is going to include about 10 or 11 drivers as they're getting ready to start qualifying here tonight. This is the last chance to get into the All-Star race, which will be held later tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway, and it'll be 25 laps between these drivers and the last chance effort to get into the All-Star race tonight. Let's welcome Chance Manning here as he will be commentating next to me tonight. What are you looking forward in tonight's race, Chance?
As far as the Open goes, I suspect a lot of hard racing, everybody trying to get to the front as fast as they possibly can with only 25 laps. It also makes qualifying, which is happening at the moment, very, very important.
It sure does, Chance. We'll take a look at the leaderboard here from practice. They had a 30-minute practice right before the Open, and taking the top spot is the number 02 of Christopher Schella with a time of 29.724. And the second position is the number 15 of Michael Stroll. He had a 29.744. And then you had a couple guys who are going to be a part of the All-Star race later tonight in practice. But basically third out of the Open guys is Anthony Yankello. Then fourth would be Daniel Holloway. And then fifth would be Nick Stoller. This, like I said, it's going to be an all-out race, 25 laps to get the top two positions in this race. Do you have any favorites, Chance, as we watch them do qualifying?
I look to see big things from Chris and Nick, both of which strong all season in really anything they race here at IRL. So I think those would be my two picks to race.
Yeah, definitely Christopher is a good pick tonight as he's been strong in every race, no matter what the track. I think a couple other guys to look at during this 25-lap session is probably going to be Anthony Yankello and Michael Stroll. Those are the two top guys right behind Christopher there. And I think they're going to be really stout here as it's a quick race. You don't need to save tires. You don't need to worry about who's around you. You just need to get to the front. And I would look for them to be at the front towards the end of the Open here tonight.
Should be a great race as it looks like qualifying is getting close to wrapping up now. Christopher Schella right now on provisional pole with a 29.765, which is actually slower than his practice time.
Yeah, there's still a couple minutes to go here in Q for these open guys, as we have a relatively small field here as a couple more come in during Q. But it's going to be definitely interesting to see how these drivers are able to handle the conditions. I know last night when we had a practice, the car, or excuse me, the truck can be pretty loose around here. You really have to get on top of the wheel if you want to go fast, because that is the name of the game tonight. It's being fast and being on top of the track. So it's
So
going to
my,
be. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so my question to you: let's say a caution comes out with 10 to go in the race. Do you suspect pit stops, or do you suspect them to actually just stay out and try to hold off people who in the back might pit?
That's a really tough call, Chance. I mean, you're going to have drivers in the front who are going to have strong trucks. But I mean, usually in longer races, anything after 10 laps, you're coming into pit. Um, so it's a really tough call. Do you have enough time to get back, you know, get back up through the field, or do you need to hold position? Because it's only top two that's moving on. So if, you know, if you're not in that top two, I would come in and pit. You got to find a way to get up there.
I have to agree with you on that one. Really, it's going to be a tough call, especially if you're sitting in that third position. You feel like you're going to be faster than those two guys ahead of you, but you don't want to risk, falling back even more. But really, that would be a normal thought. But being how only the top two transfer, it's you need to get into those second positions.
Yeah, that's definitely right. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers acclimate to such a short race. We have every one of our races here at Integrity Racing League are pretty long. There's pit strategy involved. There's track position that you try to get, and this is completely different than anything we do throughout the season.
Yes, it is, which brings us to another thing. Unlike a normal IRL race, there is no pit stop limit. So let's say we get 5 cautions in these 25 laps, we could see somebody pit every time.
That's true there, Chance. And it looks like qualifying is just wrapping up, as you're going to see the drivers start to grid here momentarily. Let's go ahead and do the starting lineup here tonight, as we still have drivers getting in. Starting on the pole for the event is the number 02 of Christopher Schella. On his outside is going to be the number 8 machine of Anthony Yankello.
Starting in third is the number 26 of Daniel Holloway, followed by the number 27 of Jeffrey Gingerella in the 4th position.
In the 5th position tonight, in the number 15 machine, it's going to be Michael Stroll. And on his outside is the elder Gingerella of Michael Gingerella. He'll be taking up the 6th position.
Starting 7th, my favorite to pick to win the race, Nick Stoller in the 00, followed by Ronald Sutton in the 8th position.
In the 9th position is going to be my elder, Papa Fife. He'll be taking the Virginia Cavaliers ski to the front of the 9th position. On his outside is James Jimbo Hickson. His number 44 machine will start 10th.
All right, then starting in some position is Joseph Piscata, followed by Matt Bontempi.
And then the next row behind them will be newcomer to the series and the number 42 machine, TJ Thompson. And on his outside will be the 01 of Drew Carroll.
And rounding out the field, the number 80 of Eugene Wilkeson.
This definitely looks like to be a strong field tonight, as most of the cars are now lined up for the start of the race. And we'll look to see the pace cars starting to move here momentarily.
Car roll off the grid and head down into turn 1.
Yeah, we see a few guys towards the back here. Looks like they're going to catch up with the field. And I think we're going to have right around 15 or so trucks in the event tonight to go for 2 positions. And at the end of this race, we will have one driver who will make his way into the All-Star event through random draw. That'll be very interesting, as any of these guys between from third on back still have a chance through the random draw to get into the All-Star race. This All-Star race tonight is a no-holds-bar event where the top guy gets $25 either through PayPal or iRacing credits, and everybody goes back on the trailer and goes home for the night empty-handed. So that's going to be very interesting to see tonight, as we're going to get ready to go green as the trucks are in turn 3, Chance.
One last note, Joseph Piscata, Matt Bontempi, Drew Carroll, and TJ Thompson all missed the driver's meeting getting ELLs. They'll be starting at the back of the field.
All right, as the pace car gets ready to come off of the racetrack, we're going to be going green.
Green flag.
And the green flag is going out. The drivers are away. And it is Christopher Shella taking the opening lead going through the quad oval here. You have Anthony Yankello going into turn 1 second. And then your first battle of the night is for third position between Daniel Holloway and Jeffrey Gingerella.
As we see Gingerella look to the inside of the 26er trying to make moves early, will not be able to clear him. But they are still too wide behind him. That's Michael Stroll and Michael Gingerella.
Yeah, the racing is intense to start here, as it looks like the first 8 or 9 trucks are single file as we complete the first lap. And we're going to be seeing guys starting to make moves very quickly as they try to get...
Caution's out.
And I hear there's a caution out on the speedway.
Really doing a great job, man. We'll keep working on this thing for you.
Have to take a look and see where that caution came from. Looks like it'll be a little further back in the field.
Well, I hear some radio chatter from Jimbo Hickson. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It looks like the 42 of TJ Thompson, newcomer to the series, kind of ran up the track into the 44 of James Hickson, both violently hitting that outside wall, and then each other once again.
Yeah, it looked like one of those situations where Jimbo was coming down a little bit on the track, and TJ was moving up to try to get a good angle into turn 1, and they just collided right there through the quad oval and caused their first caution of the night.
Yeah, nothing really short of a racing incident there, but sad to see for 2 cars. Jimbo and TJ, both, well, TJ new to the series.
And caution laps do count tonight, Chance, so each one of these caution laps is one less lap that drivers have the opportunity to work their way to the top 2. So it's going to be interesting to see how the intensity picks up as these laps click off.
As the O2 looks to dive to pit road, fakes out, I don't think anybody will fall for that. Everybody will stay out on the track.
You do see a couple machines towards the back of the field. I believe that's the 16 of Matt Bontempi, as well as Jimbo Hickson, who spun out there. I believe they did make their way to pit lane. And, you have nothing to lose there. You have drivers in the back of the field who are looking for that advantage to work their way towards those top 2 positions.
I'd like to give a shout out to Joseph Piscata running the 999 car tonight. First time I've seen a triple number on a truck.
Yeah, that is a little bit of change of pace there. I don't think that's his normal number, but must be a special paint scheme for tonight's race.
A very nice Carl Larson-esque scheme.
Well, with the first run there being rather short, it's difficult to tell who has the truck to move their way through the field, but I will say that I am kind of watching the number 26 of Daniel Holloway. He was able to pass a couple machines up to the 3rd position. It looks like he's going to give it a run to make it into the All-Star race. But I think that the intensity level and the talent level will pick up as he tries to pass the top two there, as both Anthony Ankello and Christopher Schella will be a tough task to try to get around.
It looks so far like our biggest mover really is Nick Stoller, who only gained 2 positions from what I'm seeing here. So, like you said, that run was so short you can't tell whether your car is going to be looser, tighter, or what you need to do to your driving style. This is a fixed setup.
Yeah, the setup is pretty loose depending on which lane you take. So when you have a driver under you or a driver above you, it's going to be really interesting to see how the drivers are going to adapt to that situation, being side by side and not losing it under or with their truck on the outside of you, being able to keep it down and yet hold your momentum coming off the corner to complete passes tonight.
As we look to see the pace car lights go off this time, it looks like they added an extra lap for a little bit of extra cleanup on the track. So that was a very hard hit, a lot of fluid coming out of that 42.
It looks like the caution lights are off on top of the pace car. We have one more lap back to green here at Texas Motor Speedway. The man on top right now is currently the 02 of Christopher Schella, and outside of him in the last transfer position will be the 8 of Anthony Ankello. They're going to be the 2 trying to hold off the third place machine of Daniel Holloway in the 26 and Michael Stroll in the 15 machine. And then rounding out your top 5 for the night so far is the 00 of Nick Stoller.
Jeffrey Gingerella, Robert Cook, Michael Gingerella, Jim Fife, Joseph Piscata, Drew Carroll, Matt Von Tempe, TJ Thompson, and James Hickson round out the rest of your field. That's 14 cars. As the trucks run through turn 3 and 4 here, the pace car gets set to pull off, driven in this race by Michael Duell. The pace car pulling right,
Green
hardly,
flag.
and the green flag is out. The number 02 of Christopher Schella. Great start. Clearing. Oh, is about 3 wide for third position back here. Does not actually end up being 3 wide.
Yeah, it looks like the number 8 of Anthony Ankello got a bad restart on that one and caused that 3 wide jump up a little bit there. As you see, the 15 and 26 are side by side going into turn 3, and the 26 will take that position.
And Daniel holding that low line within a block in a way to try to keep him out of that third position, hoping to make a run. As the 15 will get under him, no, will not be able to clear him though.
And the 26 washes up the track coming off of turn 2, and the 15 will take that. Oh, they get a little close coming off of 2. They'll have a sprint down the backstretch as they battle for that third position. That's the highest position for battle in the race so far, as both of them are trying desperately to get up to the top 2 positions as we cross the line to start lap 9 here of a 25-lap event in the open race.
As Daniel looked back under the 15 going into 1, could not make position, no. As it looks like the number 8 of Anthony Ankello will look to the inside in the 02 of Christopher Schella for the lead. Not sure if I agree with that, but he will clear him. Christopher Schella back to second. Anthony Ankello will lead his first lap of the race.
But you have Christopher Schella, who's right on the back bumper of Anthony Ankello as they go into turn 1. I think he's going to try to get him a little loose at some point during this race, as you see the 15 of Michael Stroll close in to make his name known for that final transfer spot.
Yeah, with them battling like that, it slowed them up quite a bit, and that brought everybody kind of back up to him as they were starting to pull a gap. as Christopher Shell will look back under the 8 of Anthony Ankello. Not exactly sure why they would be battling, but this looks like this will throw Ankello back to 3rd if he cannot fight hard enough with the 15.
Yeah, Stroll is taking the 2nd position and the final transfer spot of the race as the 0-2 hits the wall coming off of turn 2. That'll give Stroll the opportunity to try to take the lead going into turn 3.
Stroll looked to get to the inside going into 3, could not get there. As he will look again off the corner, will not be able to do it, but Yankello coming to the outside of the 15. The 15 pinches him, and they're in the wall. The 15 upside down 1, 2, 3 times. Huge crash.
Like a protein shake or a bar or anything like that?
This is where the intensity level definitely picks up in the race. As you could see, I believe from the initial view that there was a little blocking going on, trying to protect that final transfer spot, and it looks like both machines will have a difficult time trying to fix their trucks and make their way back through the field.
Yeah, I'm not exactly as worried for the number 15 of Michael Stroll and how his truck's doing. I hope he's okay. That was a violent wreck, flipping somewhere around 10 times there, end over end. It looks like he actually, the 8 had a run to the outside of the 15. The 15 came really into him, and it sent him right over, collecting also the 80.
Yeah, that was definitely a wild ride for the number 15 machine of Michael Stroll as they were battling hard for that final transfer spot going through the quad oval, and it looks like that the 15 just came up a little bit on the 8 there and caused a really big accident, in all honesty, taking out multiple trucks, especially further back in the field. And as we look here, see if anybody comes down the pit lane, and it looks like they will. The 02, the 26, and the 8 who is in the accident are making their way to pit lane on lap 13 of the event. We're going to see if this decision is able to pay off for these drivers, as they are probably coming in to take fresh tires, and hopefully will be able to make their way back through the field.
Yeah, it looks like the 27, the 99, the 27 and the 99 both staying out. Also, it looks like the 11 and the Robert Cook also staying out.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought pit strategy wouldn't be a big factor in this 25-lap event, but it looks like it will be the biggest factor of the race, as you have guys staying out from about five or seven positions, and then the rest of the drivers coming in to take those fresh tires. Some by choice and some had no choice as they were involved in the wreck. But it will be interesting to see, especially Christopher Shella in the 02 machine, as he was leading the event and made the choice to pit. We'll see if he's able to make it back through the field. We have the number 15 machine and Michael Stroll with us here for our interview. That was a wild ride you had, Michael. First of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. Just a little disappointed how that turned out.
Yeah, looking at the replay here, Michael, it looks like you and the 8 machine at Anthony Ankello got together on the front straightaway. Would you like to give us a general idea of what you felt happened?
Just hard racing. There's only 25 laps, so you gotta go, and I got around the 8 and had my sights set on the leader, and was just running my normal line, and next thing I know, I'm looking at the wall, so I really don't know.
Yeah, and that was for the final transfer spot, as right ahead of you was the 02 of Christopher Shella. Do you feel you had the machine to get up to him and battle for the open win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of us that were really right on top of each other that were gonna have a good battle for second there, or the win. I felt like I had a really good truck. I don't know if it was the draft or maybe my truck was that good, but I really felt like I had a chance to win, or at least get in the second spot and transfer. So I guess I'll just have to rely on the random draw because I feel really good about how the truck's handling. It's just a little unfortunate what happened, but we'll move on.
Yeah, and you are right there, Michael. There is a random draw that will be held at the end of the Open for the last position into the All-Star race tonight. And we would like to say sorry about your luck in there, and it looked like some tough, hard racing. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Um, no, not really. It's just racing, tough luck. I come here to have fun. I was having fun for a good 10 laps, and it just went up in smoke. So, um, like I said, I'll just have to rely on the random draw, and if I get that, then I'll try to make some noise in the main show.
Thank you for your time there, Michael. As we'll head back out to the track, it looks like the pace car lights are off, and we're going to have a whole new set of people up front on this restart, as your current leader is Jeffrey Gingerella in the number 27 machine. On the outside of him is going to be the 999 machine of Joseph Piscota. The elder Gingerella is going to be in third position. On his outside will be Robert Cook in fourth. And in an earlier accident towards the beginning 2 laps of the race was TJ Thompson in the 42 machine, but he's currently fifth in the field.
This should be a very interesting start, being how 4 tires from basically 6 on back, no tires from first to top 5. Actually, we're getting word from our pit road that TJ Thompson actually took 2 tires.
And it looks like we're getting ready to go to green here, as the pace car will pull off. And we have green flag racing once again, as Jeffrey Gingerella takes the green flag and is able to get ahead of the number 99 going into turn 1.
Oh, they're wrecking again in the back of the pack. That's the 44 of Jimbo Hickson, and I'm not sure who else that was there, but
yeah, that's the second incident there for Jimbo Hickson in the number 44 machine. We'll have to take a look at the replay and see what happened to him.
yeah, it looks like the 00 of Nick Stoller ran up the track, and it ended up turning the 44. And that's sad for Hickson, as Hickson is his second incident of the night, and he looks like he will be done.
And that is a tough break for the 44 machine, but it does also lead to some interesting things when you talk about the front guys who did not pit. This is a few more laps, so they'll be able to cool their tires and not have to battle for positions, and we'll have the guys who pitted will have less time to make their way through the field. And it's going to be interesting to see what the likes of Christopher Schella and Daniel Holloway do, hopefully when we get back to green flag racing.
And when we do get back to green flag racing, there will only be 4 to go, just about. So that leaves it to where if there is another caution, that would be the end of the race. No green-white checkers here in the Integrity Racing League.
That's a great point, Chance. I mean, when you have these guys who are racing for just the top 2 positions, it's definitely probably going to be all-out brawl to get to those 2 positions, and will probably leave little time to make up any positions or anything like that, because there'll probably be another caution, you would imagine. But you never know, so you just have to race your heart out and do the best you can to get in a transfer spot.
Yeah, and if you're the number 11 or the number 42, really, you're right there on the edge of getting into the All-Star race. So you're going to be pushing, and you're not going to really be afraid to put the bumper to somebody to get them loose going into the corner to get by them.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get another interview here during this caution real quick with one of the top 2 drivers and see what their thoughts are. Yeah, Chance, I'm very interested to see the mindset of these drivers towards the front and what they may be able to do to hold off the guys with fresh tires. That's definitely a difficult position to be in.
Alright, as we have Jeffrey Gingerella, our current leader in first transfer position, what are your thoughts going through your head right now, knowing that you're going to be able to transfer into the All-Star race if positions stay the way they are?
Well, I'm gonna try and get a good start and hope I can stay ahead of these guys. I know I have fresh tires behind me, so I have to drive as well as I can, basically.
Alrighty, as it looks like you'll be coming back to 2 to go here, how worried are you that anybody behind you, not necessarily Joseph, but somebody even farther back who's not in a transfer position, might actually try to get to your bumper and move you out of the way?
Well, that's something I just have to expect and try and avoid.
Alrighty, as we come back to 2 to green. So do you, or 1 to green, sorry, do you race your father, Michael Gingerella, any different than you race any other competitor on the track? Because that's an interesting thing to see, families racing with each other.
Well, I just try and race them as good as I can. I stay clean with basically everybody, and if it comes down to me and him, I'm gonna try and stay ahead.
Alrighty, as we come to 1, as we're at 1 to green here, is anybody like you think?
I like to thank my father. He's a great inspiration with my racing.
Alright, Jeffrey. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey Gingerella in the number 27 machine as he's getting ready to start, as it looks like we'll have about 4 laps to go in this open race, as you'll have on the outside of him the number 999 at Joseph I'm sure I butchered this, Pisciota on the outside, and then Jeffrey's dad is going to be right behind him on the inside line, row 2 in 3rd. Then TJ Thompson will take the outside in 4th position, and Robert Cook will round out your top 5.
Remember, top 2 transfer to the All-Star race. If there's another caution, that is the end of the race. The pace car will pull hard right, and the green flag is out. Jeffrey Gingerella with the start.
It looks like the 42 is right on the bumper of the 999 machine going into turn 1, and there are three wide further back in the field.
As there was a wreck behind it, it does not look like the caution will come out. Luckily for these leaders, this should be a great race. 3 wide once again down the backstretch, people pushing hard for the position.
The 999 machine of Joseph Pisciata will take the inside position on Jeffrey Gingerella going through turns 3 and 4, as the number 42 machine will be in 3rd on the inside line looking to take advantage.
Robert Cook spins at the back of the field as there's another wreck going in. Matt Bontempi onto the apron, saves it. So, oh boy.
They are still green flag racing here as they get to the backstretch. Looks like it's going to be a race between about 7 or 8 people, as coming to the line we'll have 2 laps to go.
I got to give it to the officials for letting this thing run out. There's great racing up front as Joseph and Jeffrey still in those transfer spots, just switched around now as Joseph is leading.
It looks like the 42 of TJ Thompson has taken the 2nd position and the final transfer spot. As we look back towards the 4th and 5th position, you have Christopher Schella with new tires racing with Michael Gingerella going into turn 3. Will he have enough time to take the final transfer spot?
Oh, is it a wreck in the back, and that is it. The race is over.
What's your car doing, bud?
Joseph Piscata, TJ Thompson will transfer to the All-Star race.
Wow, that was a very hard battle further back in the field. We'll have to take a look at the replay and see what happened, Chance.
As I'm taking and looking on the rewind machine right now to see what was up. It looks like the 11 came down into the 00, bouncing up the track, taking out the 8 of Anthony Yankello. And that was right there in the middle of the track. The officials had no choice but to call that.
Yes, we're on the white flag lap here. I think the big point of this race, this 25-lap shootout, is the pit stop that happened on the second caution where you had the likes of Christopher Schella and Daniel Holloway come into the pit lane and really not have enough time to work their way back through the field to capture one of those transfer spots. That was the real turning point of the race, and they're going to have to rely on that random draw here in a couple minutes to get them in the field.
As the 999 of Joseph Piscata will run around the track for his victory lap, come to the start-finish line, maybe do a burnout, maybe not. But great racing all around. I'm sure there's some mad people who have not made it into this All-Star race to race for the $25 in iRacing or PayPal credit.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see them in the All-Star race and see if they're able to do anything with those trucks later on tonight.
As we look to the field, of course, Joseph Piscata our winner, followed by T.J. Thompson in second. Okay. And the number 27 of Jeffrey Gingerella will take third, followed by the 02 of Christopher Schella in fourth. The number 00 of Nick Stoller will round out your top five, followed by Matt Bontempi, Michael Gingerella, and Michael Stroll in eighth. Papa Jim Papa 5 in the number 63 in the ninth position, followed by Daniel Holloway in 10th. Robert Cookie, the number 64 car, in 11th, followed by Anthony Iankello, Drew Carroll, James Hickson, who all end up laps down.
Yeah, that was a great race here from Texas Motor Speedway. As like I said before, it's going to be interesting to see how everything turns out later tonight, as we're going to have a pre-race show here at 8:15, and it looks like we're going to get ready for the draw to see who will be the last driver to get into the All-Star race here in a little bit. And it looks like the fifth position will be the one to transfer into the All-Star race. That'll be the 00 of Nick Stoller. We're so excited we decided to say it together.
Yes, we did.
The 00 of Nick Stoller will be the one to transfer into the main event later on tonight. And I'm sure he's ecstatic about that. And we'll look to get an interview with him in our pre-race show here at 8:15.
So, tune back in at 8:15. We will have driver interviews, track talks, all kinds of different things, including interviews with Joseph Piscata, T.J. Thompson, and Nick Stoller, who all advanced from the All-Star race. So we will see you at 8:15 right here on the Integrity Broadcasting Network.
We're live.
And welcome to the Integrity Broadcasting Network All-Star Pre-Race Show. As I am here with Jacob Fife, as we have just wrapped up the All-Star Open and are into All-Star Practice. Jacob.
That's right, Chance. As you see some of the machines going around the track right now, our all-star drivers are getting their practice laps in preparation for tonight's race. And while they're practicing, we're going to go over a few things during our pre-race shoe. We're going to talk about our Open that just wrapped up here a few minutes ago, and we're going to also talk about the Integrity Racing League as a whole. They just wrapped up their regular season here last week, and they're getting ready to go into the butt kicker chase for the championship, as we have several drivers vying for the coveted championship here at Integrity Racing League. And we'll go over that through the night, and we'll hope that you will stay with us as we start to talk about the Open, Chance, which was a very exciting race of 25 laps of intense action for 2 spots, basically. The top 2 were able to transfer into tonight's All-Star race. And what did you think about the Open as it ran here just a little bit ago?
I thought it was a great race, a lot of intense racing, especially after that final restart. There were 3 or 4 cautions through that race, only 25 laps, and it made for really interesting battles, especially at the just about 12 to go mark, where half the field pitted, half didn't, basically inverting the field inadvertently and caused a lot of drama.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the Open race, I definitely thought that was the turning point of the event. I thought before that since the caution was for the 15 and the 8, that the 02 was the dominant truck of the event and had the best shot at making it in. And it turns out that was not going to be the case, as he took the pit lane for 4 tires while you had others stay out. Among those, both of the Gingerella stayed out. TJ Thompson stayed out, as well as Joseph Pesciota stayed out, and that really was the winning move to get you into the top 2 positions.
Yeah, we were talking before the race, and we were thinking that pitting was going to be the way to go, and that everybody would pit, even if somebody stayed out, they would be quickly shuffled to the back. But that really wasn't the case.
Yeah, it wasn't, Chance, and it really gives us an idea of what we might be able to expect for the All-Star race tonight, as I know some of those drivers were watching the Open event and might be taking notes to see if they are going to be able to do the same types of things for the All-Star race tonight.
Alright, so we are going to head down to pit lane with Jacob Fife and Nick Stoller.
Yeah, thank you, Chance. We do have Nick Stoller here with us. He was able to get in as of the random draw. We had that right at the end of the Open as the last place to get into the All-Star race tonight. Nick, how do you feel about being able to make it into the All-Star race through the random draw?
Well, Jacob, I just feel lucky to have been able to get my reset, because I got caught up in that first big wreck and just tried to patiently make my way through the field, and when the caution fell, I just happened to be in the right spot.
Yeah, did you feel through that Open race that you had a decent car capable of getting in the top 2?
I had a decent car. I got stuck back in traffic a little bit, so I wore the good off my tires too fast, so I was just trying to benefit from others' mistakes, and it seemed to work out pretty well.
And what kind of strategy do you feel you're going to have for the All-Star race, as the talent level definitely picks up for the All-Star race here at Integrity Racing League?
I think it's going to be a little same strategy. It's a little longer of a race, so I can benefit from taking my time and just try to miss the melees and maybe take a end of the race swing at it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting to see what plays out for the All-Star race. We thank you for your time there, Nick. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Well, I'd like to thank Nick Levin Motorsports for giving me an awesome 00 5-finger death punch Chevrolet, and I'd like to say hi to my mom.
Yeah, definitely have to include the family in, as you wouldn't be where you were without your family. We thank you for coming on with us tonight here, Nick, and we look forward to seeing you in the All-Star event a little bit later tonight.
All right, thank you, Jacob.
That is Nick Staller, the driver of the number 00 machine, as he is the last transfer spot here tonight for the All-Star event. And as you see here, still practice going on here at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll check in on that for a quick second to see what kind of lap times are being posted there. Chad, why don't you give us a rundown of the lap times so far?
All right, Chance says that Brad Patton, with the fastest lap we've seen so far, at 29.658.
And it looks like the second position is taken by Matthew Wright. And the big thing I notice here as we're doing practice for the All-Star event is that comparative to the Open, the times have picked up almost a tenth of a second for the fast times of the night. So it's going to be definitely a quick race, hopefully if the green stays out. And the drivers are really going to be on top of their game trying to battle for position tonight. It should be interesting.
Yeah, the major difference besides the amount of laps between the All-Star race and the Open is the Open, 2 people transferred, and you were fighting for 2 positions. Now you're only fighting for 1 position in the All-Star race.
Yeah, the intensity level is definitely going to pick up as the money is going to be on the line for these drivers. $25 in either iRacing credits or cash through PayPal for the winner of the race. The rest of the drivers go home empty-handed.
Checkers or wreckers mentality.
Yeah, and as we move on in our pre-race show, we're going to go over the season that was, as our regular season just wrapped up here in Integrity Racing League. We have several drivers who is able to make it into the butt kicker chase for the championship. And all right, and it looks like as we go over the standings for the event, as they are reset for the chase, the 9-week butt kicker chase for the championship, with 4 wins on the regular season, is a driver, the number 88 machine, Michael Duell. In the second position with 2 wins are going to be the drivers of Matthew Wright and yours truly, who's very looking forward to the Chase Series. It should be great. With 1 win this season is Brad Patton. He'll be in the 4th position, it looks like. And then the rest of the drivers who are starting with 5,000 points will be Jim Papa Fife, Alan Roll, Daniel Holloway, Jeff Barger, Brian Harvey, and Bruce Koenig. And then your 2 wild cards with 7 wins on the season is Andrew Fiash III, and then Matt Busa, who was barely able to make it into the event, as it was a very interesting race at New Smyrna. He was able to make it into the chase in an effort to defend his championship from last season. Who do you think, Chance, as we look towards the chase, has a decent shot at getting the championship this season?
Well, I expect if Fayash is to make it to every race, that he would be the definite favorite after having like 7 wins this season, if I'm correct. But if he doesn't, I expect to see Michael Dool actually, pull off the championship. He's been strong all season. He's held a point lead for most of the segments, and I actually expect him to do great things with that championship.
It's going to be interesting to see how the bonus points play out for those who have won races earlier in the season. I know as a commentator, putting my commentator's hat on, I'm definitely looking to see Andrew Fyash make a strong charge for the championship this season. I'm also looking at the other wild card, Matt Busa. I'd love to see what he's going to be able to do to defend his championship from last season. I think he still has a strong team with him, and a couple, other drivers like Brad Patton, I think will be a slight sleeper to look at as well. But as a driver, I'm always going to say, of course, I'm going to win. But it's going to be very interesting to see through these 9 weeks who is able to string the most, not only the best finishes, but the most consistent finishes throughout the Chase Series, as it's going to be a very fine line between overdriving it and causing yourself an accident, costing yourself a race, and being able to hang on and focus in on what needs to be done to claim the championship.
As we look to actually, we're sending a reporter down to get Andrew Fyash the third right now, of course, big time winner this season, and we'll see what he has to say about his chance in the chase.
Yeah, it looks like we have found Andrew Fyash here, the driver of the number 77 Silverado, with us. How are you doing tonight there, Andrew?
Pretty good, just trying to find a little bit of speed here in practice. How about yourself?
We're doing well. We're looking forward to our inaugural broadcast here at Integrity Broadcasting Network. I want to talk to you a little bit, first off, about what you're looking forward to tonight, as it looks like we have some stiff competition here in our All-Star race.
Yeah, these mile and a half tracks make the racing a lot more competitive and a lot more, I guess the word is unknown as far as how it's going to play out. I don't know if you remember back to Charlotte, but man, we had a bunch of different leaders in that race, and I mean, I don't think anyone had a clue who was going to win, even in the closing laps, because we kept swapping the lead out. So I think it's going to be something similar to that tonight.
Yeah, I do remember that race very vividly, and it was very tight racing, almost pack racing actually, for that race, and may see something very similar to that tonight for the All-Star race. But moving on to that, looking at the broader picture, we're also getting ready for the chase for the championship. You are coming into the chase as one of the wild card drivers with your 7 wins, very impressive on the season. Looking forward, how do you feel about your chances for the championship, and what do you feel you need to do in order to be able to claim the top spot this season?
Probably the main thing is just to stay out of trouble for the most part, because usually if I stay out of trouble, I'm able to pull, top 5 just about every week. So that's the main thing. If I keep myself out of the mayhem, then I should be in a decent position at the end of each race, and then just keep doing what I was doing. I mean, I don't have to really mix anything up. So I'm going to try to ride the momentum and keep it moving forward.
Yeah, it's definitely, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it's definitely a goal to be as consistent as possible. Do you feel that, or who do you feel is your biggest challenger for that chase as you look forward?
Well, it depends on his attendance, as he's not even here right now, but that would be Matt Busa. He's probably my biggest competition. I think Brad Patton's going to be a threat too when we get through the chase here. But yeah, it's probably going to be Busa, because he's usually mixing it up with me every race. So as long as he shows up for enough races, then it's definitely going to be I think it's gonna be me and him going at it, unless we get caught up in a bunch of stuff.
That is an interesting point you bring up there, Andrew, as the Chase Series does have 2 drop weeks, so it gives people an opportunity to have a chance to take the championship even if they don't make every race. So that might open up the door for somebody like a Busa to get a run and defend his championship. Is there anybody you'd like to thank there, Andrew?
I'd just like to thank my teammates, Galaxy Motorsports, for helping me out with all the DWC stuff, or WCS, whatever the initials are now. And you guys for putting this on, and for giving the broadcast a shot. I watched the second half of the Open there anyway, and it looked pretty good for your first broadcast. So good luck to you guys tonight.
Well, thank you, Andrew. We definitely appreciate that. We're having fun up here so far, and we thank you for stopping by with us for a little bit here. That is Andrew Fayash III in the number 77 Silverado, as he's getting practice in currently for the All-Star race tonight. And it's going to be really interesting to see. He brought up some good points in the interview. As far as the All-Star race it goes to begin with, as he's getting prepared for that, but also looking ahead to the Chase Series. He's definitely got his sights on a couple people in the the Chase Series that he's going to be looking out for. But as he mentioned, he's definitely going to be stout in that Chase Series. So that's going to be interesting to see as well, Chance.
Yes, it should. And like he said, Matt Booth is going to be strong competition, but his attendance has been a major factor for him all year. He would be farther up in the points and wouldn't have had to race his way in at New Smyrna if it wasn't for his lack of attendance to the races.
Yeah, I mean, going into the Chase, where they're going to have to make up 12 points, both Busa and Fayash have to make 12 points up on Michael Duell, is going to be pretty difficult. But it is a pretty long Chase season, and they're going to have to really pull out all the stops, I think, to get up there, because Duell is no slouch. I'm maybe slightly biased since he's my teammate, but he is not a slouch. He's come into this Chase Series with 4 wins to his credit, and he will be stiff competition for those 2 drivers.
So now we send it down to pit road with Jacob Fife, who has Brad Patton.
Yeah, we do have Brad Patton here, the driver of the number 18 Bud Light Silverado. Thank you for talking with us here, Brad.
Not a problem. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going over the Chase Series here as you made it in on points. In the regular season, you fell into the 10th position, but with your 1 win earlier in the season, you have 3 bonus points to your credit, and will have a slight advantage over the guys who are in the wild card spot or not having any wins this season. How do you feel that will help you going forward in the Chase Series?
I'm hoping it's going to help me out. The win, it's huge. I wish I could have got like 2 or 3 more, but missed a few weeks. Yeah, I'm just ready for the Chase. I mean, this is going to be a fun event, this All-Star race. Looking forward to putting on a show for the fans. But yeah, I'm happy I got the bonus points.
Yeah, it's going to definitely help you there. Looking at the Chase, and we will get to the All-Star race a little bit here in a couple minutes, but looking at the Chase, do you feel you have any strong points as far as the tracks that are on the schedule? And who do you feel will be your biggest competition of the Chase drivers?
I'd say my strong points would probably be the 1.5 miles. So I'm usually pretty quick there. I don't know. I just like speed. I like to be able to handle the car, be able to get in a draft and that, and make my own decisions, and not have to worry about really breaking points and everything like that. Biggest competition, I honestly would have to say either Busa or well, actually anybody. I mean, we all got in there, and we all been fighting all season for it. But I think the 2 main guys in the competition will probably be Busa and Fayash. I mean, they're pro drivers in DWC. They they're just fast drivers, and if we can end up keeping up with them and have a chance at the end of the race, I think everybody's got a shot.
It seems to be a consistent theme as Andrew and Busa being the top guys for the chase. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, looking to the All-Star race, it's going to be here in a little bit. How do you feel about your truck so far in practice? And do you feel you have the machine to get up there and take the money for the night?
Oh, definitely. I feel like I can run top three easily. It's just figuring out, with the cloud cover and everything like that, and just trying to figure out the line again. Watching some of the guys in there, and I thought I had one of the fastest laps in that, and then going around the track and that somebody else is figuring out the line and everything. Like Michael, he just pulled a faster lap than everybody, and I don't know how he picked up the speed for it. So now I'm trying to figure out that line. But yeah, I think with the draft and how I feel the setup's going to get really tight. Yeah, I think I have a shot. I'm going to hopefully put on a show for the fans. It's going to be reckless race, not reckless racing, but there's not a lot of give and take in this one. It's going to be just take.
Yeah, do you have any strategy in play going into the All-Star event tonight? You do have a inversion on lap 20. Does that play into your mind at all as you're racing, or is it just you don't care about anything, you just go out and get all you can get?
Well, first I want to finish. That's the obvious. You always want to finish the race. That's how you're going to have your shot at winning. Now my strategy is, I think for the first 10 laps I'm going to settle in and see where everything goes. If I get a top 4 or 5 top 4 or 5 qualifying position for the chase or for the All-Star race, I'm gonna obviously go for the lead now. I don't really care about the inversion or anything like that. But if I don't qualify that well, I'm just gonna go to the back and just sit back there and let everybody else duke it out, and hopefully everybody wrecks and I can win the money.
I understand how that goes, Brad. Is there anybody you'd like to thank here as we're interviewing here at Texas Motor Speedway?
Integrity Racing League, best league out there. If you haven't been a part of this league yet, I suggest you join. You can contact Jacob Fife or Michael Dool. It's a great league. Bud Light, gotta have it. Butt Kicker for coming on as the rookie of the year, and they're sponsoring us for the series and everything like that. I thought that was pretty cool of them to do that. And to all the fans and all the racers that we race with every single Saturday night, it's been a blast so far, and looking forward to more.
Yeah, 10-4 on that, Brad. Thank you for taking the time to interview with us tonight, and good luck in the All-Star race here in a little bit.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have fun, guys.
And that was Brad Patton, the driver of the 18 Bud Light Silverado. And he brought up a good point there, as we would like to thank our sponsors here at the Integrity Racing League. Our main sponsor for the season is Pro Powder and Paint. You can check them out at www.propowderandpaint.com.
Powder and Paint uses brand new state-of-the-art equipment to produce the best quality products and finish for our customers. Our painting and spray booths can accommodate any type of painting or powder coating need you may have. Whether your needs are commercial, industrial, or personal, we can handle it. Our equipment includes Cool Met paint booth, large and small ovens, powder coating booth, and sandblasting equipment. Call Pro Powder and Paint today.
And welcome back to the Integrity Broadcasting Network's showcase of the Integrity Racing League.net All-Star Race. So now we will send it to Jacob Fife, who will show us a lap around this 1.5 mile Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, this is a 1.5 mile circuit, very high speeds, and with this setup, I know I did some practice with it earlier in the week. Going to be very tough to handle to stay on top of the track and be able to get a fast lap all at the same time. Throw in other cars around there, it's going to be very intense and very exciting. As we're going to do an onboard lap here, as we can see if we can find a driver. We're going to hop on board with the number 88 machine of Michael Duell as he's going through turns 3 and 4 currently. As we're on the roof cam, as he hits the start-finish line here at Texas Motor Speedway, he's around 180 mile an hour going into turn 1. You're going to want to arc the corner there, get all the way down to the white line, and hook that white line through turns 1 and 2. There's going to be a couple bumps to go through coming off at 2 as the corner flattens out and you almost hit the wall coming off the corner. Going into turn 3, you hold it as wide open as long as you can in the early stages of the race, as the back end will tend to fish around a little bit, and then you'll come off of turn 4 right up against the wall. Hopefully you'll be by yourself. You'll have to worry about the cars and trucks around you. This is one of the racetracks here at Texas Motor Speedway where if you aerodynamics really play a role. If you have a driver who's right on your back end there, you're going to get a little loose. And if you have a driver who's right in front of you, it's going to be hard to keep that car down to the bottom, as you see Michael is right now. And as he clips the apron a little bit coming off of turn 4, he's really getting loose. That's definitely a main characteristic you'll see throughout the night, and we'll try to focus in on as the All-Star race happens. And as you see him continue to go around the track here, we'll throw it back up to Chance in the booth, as we'll start to lead in to our all-star coverage here at Integrity Broadcast Network.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. The race tonight, 50 laps, double the length of the Open earlier. So that should lead to at least one pit stop, no matter how it works out. There should be one pit stop. If maybe somebody can stretch it. But tires, if there's a caution, should be big. Also, on lap 20, there will be a competition caution where there will be a random inversion that not even the drivers know what position gets inverted.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race. I think the Open race actually probably changed some strategies for some of these drivers as they saw that older tires still had a chance to stay up front compared to new tires. It was a little difficult depending on how the cautions played out and things of that nature. Let's go down to the grid here and talk with the driver of the 88 machine, Michael Duell. Duell, do you have a copy?
10-4 there, Booth.
Yeah, we thank you for taking the time to talk with us for a minute. We just got through with the onboard with you. It looks like your machine is a little loose. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how your truck's doing so far?
The truck's not doing too bad on the early runs. It's really good. You can hold the throttle pretty much all the way around. Turn 1, lift a little bit. In the later part of the runs in traffic, I think we're going to be lifting a lot more. Probably going to be a lot of cars bouncing off of turn number 4. But for the most part, it should be a good race.
Yeah, it should be, Michael. As you're looking at your strategy for the race, the driver is currently in the field. Do you have a particular strategy you're looking at, or is it just a free-for-all and you're just going to go at it as hard as you can?
I think I'm going to play it safe for a while. We'll see where we qualify and just kind of ride around until the inversion halfway through. And then after the inversion, we'll probably start pushing the issue a little more and see how the race works out.
I see there. As one of the chase drivers, how do you feel about the chase as we'll be going into that next week, kind of looking ahead?
Chase is a little different. There's a lot of good drivers in the field this year. Andrew, Busa, if he shows up. Even some of these newcomers around here. Nick's a good driver. There's just a couple of drivers there that could probably play into the chase. As far as my chances, it's gonna be a luck thing. I think I could probably hold the points lead for maybe a race or two, and then after that, once Andrew starts getting more wins, he's gonna pass me. It's just gonna be a matter of when. But hopefully, we'll have a good shot and maybe go for our first year championship.
Yeah, the number 88 machine's definitely been stout throughout the regular season. If you've been in the points lead for most of the regular season, and I'm sure you're hoping for that to carry over into the chase as well. Looking at it, it seems like the general consensus from the other gentlemen we've interviewed tonight is that the main players are Andrew Fayash and Matt Busa. That's something you tend to agree with.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I hate saying that those are the two guys that are going to do it, but I'm gonna try to be the spoiler. See if I can pull it off with the championship this year. I really think it's going to come down to Andrew and me and maybe even you. It just depends on how the races work out. But in the end, I'm hoping to get my first one.
Yeah, I'm sure you feel obligated to say me because I'm your teammate, but that's okay. Speaking of teammates and things of that nature, is there anybody you would like to thank?
Yeah. First, I want to thank my good pal and teammate there, Jacob Fife. Going to thank Team Chevrolet for giving us these awesome trucks to trash around here in the Lone Star State. Thank Integrity Racing League, everybody for coming out, checking out the website, checking out the league. It's a great thing we've done here over the last year, and we're looking to do stuff, do some more stuff in the future. I thank Texas Motor Speedway for putting on the cool All-Star event here. Thank our new broadcasting group, Integrity Racing Broadcasting, whatever it is now. And finally, I would like to thank all my fans, family, and Chance Manning for not sucking.
Well, thank you for your interview tonight, Duel, and once again, good luck in tonight's festivities as well as the chase later on this season.
All right, appreciate it. Good luck, guys.
That's Michael Duel, driver of the number 88 machine, as he's getting set for the All-Star race tonight, the big event where all the money is on the line, as it looks like we're getting around 10 minutes to go before qualifying starts for the event. Let's take a look at the top 5 there, Chance.
Yeah, the number 4, sorry. The first position is the number 74 of Michael Guest, who ran a 29.6. Followed by our recent interviewee, Michael Duel, the number 88 Integrity Racing League car, who ran a 29.611. Followed by Brad Patton, Matthew Wright, Andrew Fayash, who ran out your top 5. Then TJ Thompson and Joseph Piscata. And rounding out the field, Nick Stoller. Only 8 cars have practiced.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if more drivers will come in towards the latter part of practice and try to get some laps in.
Yeah, that is true. I'm wondering if maybe it's just a lack of drivers able to make it down here to Texas Motor Speedway tonight, or whether it's just drivers waiting to the last minute to get out onto the track.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who shows up tonight. Close to, I believe, 20 to 23 people were eligible to race tonight in the All-Star event. So if you have only 8 to 10 trucks who are racing tonight, it's going to bring up the ability for one of these drivers to grab a chance at getting the win tonight if something happens to one of these top drivers like Michael Guest or Michael Duel.
And with these smaller fields, if this ends up being a smaller field, it will actually make for a really, really interesting race, because I don't see this actually ending good with a small amount of drivers, because people, when they see that leader, they get that race car attitude and are like, well, yeah, I want to go for the lead right now.
That's right, Chance. It's going to be really, it could go 2 ways. It could go, as you mentioned, that everybody's going to be gunning for the lead and just balls to the walls. Or, people could kind of stay calm for the opening stages of the race, especially before the inversion. I think the inversion is going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and the intensity level might really pick up after that point of the inversion on lap 20.
So, as we take it in here with just about 10 minutes left until qualifying, the drivers meeting ongoing right now. Remember, it's a 50-lap race, mandatory caution at lap 20 with a random inversion, which, as we say, nobody really knows what the inversion is except for the officials, the non-racing officials, I should say, who will announce that apparently right here when the time comes. So, also something different tonight. There is no incident cap because no points are on the line, which is a usual at Integrity Racing League events, such as tonight would be 7 incidents, and then you would get a probation for the next week and an ELL. Also, we should see unlimited pit stops tonight, unlike the usual 4 that we usually have.
Yeah, it's basically a no-holds-bar race tonight. The only thing in play is intentional wrecking. If anyone does that during the course of the race, they will be booted from the server. But beyond that, everything's on. These drivers have just their truck and their ability between them and taking the win tonight. They can pit as many times as they want to, but they do only have one reset, just as the normal Integrity Racing League series would run. So they do have to be mindful of how they race each other and try not to take each other off, or out, excuse me.
So, I'm here at the weather board tonight. It is a very overcast skies. A lot of people think it was going to rain, but no rain in sight, just really cloudy. 70 degrees with a north wind of anywhere between 6 and 10 miles an hour, and a humidity of 42% tonight. So, as we send it over to Jacob Fife here in just a couple of seconds for the Butt Kicker Rookie of the Year standings.
Yeah, we definitely have a tight race for the Rookie of the Year, as in the top position is going to be Brad Patton. Followed closely by him is Cody Kutzner in the number 91 machine, who's currently not here yet, even though he has a couple wins. Followed in third position by James Hudson in the number 53 machine. In fourth position is Chris Freeman, our producer. He is definitely trying to close the gap between him and the top 3 to have a crack at the Butt Kicker Rookie of the Year award. Andrew Fayash would be in the 5th position, but he has decided not to run in the or be eligible for the Rookie of the Year this season. Marcus Lambert would then take the 5th position there. After him will be Jeff Chandler, who normally runs the 33 machine. Christopher Schella would be next in line, as we saw him earlier in the open race. He's been very close to a couple wins this season and has had very strong runs throughout the Integrity Racing League regular season. Patrick Wright, the father of Matthew Wright, would be next in position, and then rounding out your top 10 there. As we mentioned before here, the sponsor for Rookie of the Year is Butt Kicker. The Butt Kicker Gamer 2 lets you feel all the action from your games and simulators. Feel the gut-wrenching punch of machine gun fire, the pounding of chopper blades, explosions, racing engines, gear shifts, rumble strips, engine throttle, and more. Turn down or turn off your subwoofer and still feel all the bass, even while using headphones. Turn your gamer sim to the next level of realism. Check out the Butt Kicker Gamer 2 at www.thebuttkicker.com and use the code IRL10 to receive 10% off any Butt Kicker simulation products. Once again, that's www.thebuttkicker.com.
And so, if I'm correct, the winner of the Rookie of the Year actually gets one of those Gamer 2s, am I correct?
Actually, the special promotion that we'll be doing for the Chase Series that all drivers are going to be eligible for is the driver who completes the most laps in the last Chase Series segment will receive one of those Butt Kicker Gamer 2s free of charge. And in addition, the drivers who are eligible for the Rookie of the Year, they will be receiving $20 in either iRacing credits or through a PayPal account. So that's definitely two things to be looking towards as we head to the last segment here at Integrity Racing League.
So, as we will send it to break before we head into the All-Star Race. And welcome back to the Integrity Broadcasting Network for the Integrity All-Star Racing Series. We will now send it down to the front stretch for the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, we got.
but don't say anything yet.
And that was the U.S. Army giving us our Star-Spangled Banner here at Texas Motor Speedway. That was a great rendition, and we are looking into the all-star race here tonight as the drivers are getting ready to hop aboard their machines for 50 laps here at Integrity Racing League, and there will be an inversion on lap 20 of the event that will be found out during that time. There will be a competition caution to create that inversion. And as we talk to Chance Manning here, we're going to get our picks for the night, as it should be a very hotly contested event. Chance, who do you think is going to be the winner here as we wrap up our pre-race show?
Well, my look looks to be Andrew Fayash. Strong all season, especially at these 1.5-mile tracks. He's one of the fastest drivers here, and I expect him to contend for the win all night long.
Yeah, you can't. You definitely can't go against 7 wins during the regular season, that's for sure. That's a great pick, Chance. My pick for the race is going to be, and I know my teammate's going to be upset, but my pick for the race is going to be the 74, Michael Guest. He is the quickest on the chart so far, and if he's able to keep his truck clean all night, I believe he will take the money and the trophy for the All-Star event tonight. And it looks like we are starting the qualifying so far, as the drivers are coming around on the track now. As previously mentioned, Michael Guest currently has the pole position, and on his outside is Brad Patton, as we're about 3.5 minutes through qualifying.
Yeah, Michael Guest with a 29.615. Still, I think the fastest lap that's been run all night in any session.
Yeah, it definitely is a quick lap there for the 74 machine, as he was actually able to run a 5 in practice a little bit earlier. Now, we're not sure whether that was with draft or by himself, but either way, it is a very stout lap for that 74 machine.
Yes, it is, and that's why it makes him such a great pick on your part to win this race.
That's right, but I know he will have some stout competition throughout the night, as each one of these drivers has the ability to take the win.
So let's talk a little bit about IntegrityRacingLeague.net right here, or the host of the Integrity Broadcasting Network. You can find us. We race Saturday nights, every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. race time and 8 p.m. for the practice. Maybe Jacob can elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right, Chance. We run Fixed Truck Series every Saturday night. Right around this time, we would be practicing for the event. We usually have about 20 to 25 trucks that make each race each week as we work into our Chase Series presented to you by Butt Kicker. It should be a great race for the Chase through the last 9 weeks, as well as a great race tonight. If you're interested in joining Integrity Racing League, check us out at www.integrityracingleague.net. And it looks like, Chance, that the trucks are beginning to grid for the event tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Why don't we go ahead and give you the starting grid presented to you by Butt Kicker.
And Michael Guest, your pole sitter, ran that 29.615, followed by Brad Patton in the number 18 in second position.
In row number 2 is going to be the number 13 of Matthew Wright with a time of 29.672. And only 5 1/1000ths behind him is the number 88 machine of Michael Duell.
And the number 77, Andrew Fayash, the third, will run in 5th position, followed by TJ Thompson, our first transfer from the Open, who actually will have been given an ELL and will go to the back. So it's actually Blade Witt who will actually be the next position.
Yeah, then you'll have Bobby Keith rounding out the field in the number 6 machine, it looks like, if he's able to grid in time.
There's only actually 10 cars here tonight. It's a very small field for what we were expecting in the All-Star race, where almost 23 drivers were actually eligible. Remember, to be eligible for this event, you had to have won a race in the Integrity Racing League in the past 2 seasons.
That's right, Chances. The pace car will be getting ready to roll off here in just a second, as you see drivers starting to move a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how the drivers who transferred from the Open will be able to adjust with racing with the guys from originally in the All-Star race. Will they be able to make their way through the field or not, Chance?
I think they will. They were able to be the best of the, not necessarily the best of the worst, but the best of the second group, really. You know, the people who have been right there trying to get a win and has, you know, gotten the win on the All-Star race. Open, I should say.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with a small field like this, Chance, who is able to make their way through the field from the back, and if they're able to take advantage of such a small field to get there quickly.
As the cars will roll down the backstretch for the final pace lap, it's only actually 2 rows of 2, followed by 3 single file cars who all have been given end of the line penalties. Remember, that's Joseph Piscata, TJ Thompson, and Nick Stoller, all who advanced from the Open.
And it looks like the pace car is getting ready to come off the track, and Michael Guest will take the green flag here at Texas Motor Speedway. He'll get out to a big lead as a 13, and Matthew Wright will go inside of Brad Patton for the second position.
2 wide for the second and third positions. Looks like that number will fall out of line. As it will signify as Michael Duell will look for the fourth position.
Yeah, it looks like the 88 will be able to complete that pass coming off of turn 4, and you'll have the top, well actually the whole field really, in single file as we complete lap 2 of the event, as the first 7 cars will be single file, but we do have a battle for the lead as the 13 is right on the bumper of the 74 for the top spot.
13 stalking the 74 for about the past lap or so. Really hasn't had the opportunity for a run yet, but I expect him to do it pretty quick, as it actually brings in this whole field really, except for it looks like the Bobby Keith at the very back. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Stoller. My bad. Sorry.
And it looks like we have a change in position for the lead, as Matthew Wright is able to get around the 74 and really drop him all the way back in the clutches of Brad Patton, who's currently running in the 5th position. That'll be a battle for 4th going into turn 1.
So it looks like Duell will look to the inside of the 77 coming off of 2. Will be able to get beside him, may not be able to clear him though, getting down into the corner.
Yeah, Michael Duell will look to the inside of Andrew Farish going into turn 3 as he tries to work his way into the 2nd position, as we are starting to work lap number 5 here at Texas Motor Speedway. It'll be the number 13 of Matthew Wright in the 1st position, followed closely by the 88 of Michael Duell. In 3rd position will be the 77 of Andrew Fyash, as they're currently in a battle with Brad Patton. And then rounding out your top 5 will be the 74 of Michael Guest.
As they're trying 3 wide almost, going down into turn 3, that looked like the 74 trying to push the issue between the 18 and the 77.
Yeah, the intensity level is pretty high here at the beginning stages of the race, even with only 8 trucks on the track. As it looks like the top 2 machines have kind of pulled away a little bit, and we have the number 88 of Michael Duell on the inside of Matthew Wright through the corner. He will be able to complete the pass coming off of turn 4, and he'll lead the 7th lap here at Texas.
That's a third lean change of the race. That's almost a quarter or half of the field almost at this point that's led this race, and with the inversion, I expect almost every car here to actually lead a lap tonight, which is crazy to think. As it looks like the number 74 of Michael Guest will look through the inside of the 18 for the 3rd position. He will be able to clear him, and the 77 will follow him through and push him down the front stretch. As they're both able to clear the 18 by the time they can get to 1, the 13 right back on the back of the 88. The 80 gets very loose coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier in the pre-race show, is having a driver right on your rear bumper there, Chance, can get the truck very loose, especially coming off the corners. And the driver who's best able to handle that will have the best chance at winning tonight. As next time by, we will be halfway before the competition caution comes out, and the drivers will be inverted. No driver knows yet how many positions will be inverted, but it'll be interesting to see how this changes strategy when we come to that point on lap 20. As we look through the field here, all of the drivers are single file currently, all the way back to the 99 of Joseph I keep on butchering that name. Pesciota, and the 99 currently runs in the 7th position, and he's looking to try to catch up a little bit. He wants to stay intact with the top 6 as they are single file here going around Texas Motor Speedway. He was able to make it into the event tonight by getting one of those 2 transfer spots in the open. As you see the top 5 here coming onto the backstretch, they are nose to tail. And it looks like they're willing to settle in a little bit, see how their trucks are racing as they're going around the track. And just really trying to fill each other out, see who has what and who may be the strongest guy amongst these drivers, and hopefully size them up for later on in the race. As you see Michael Guest look to the inside going into turn 1.
And Michael Guest will pull to the inside of the 13 in turn 1, and it looks like he should be able to clear him coming off of 4. And that also gives the run to Andrew Fayash, who will be able to try to pass him also for that 3rd position. He clears.
Yeah, that's the right chance. The number 13 has dropped back to the 4th position with the number 18 of Brad Patton right on his tail going through the front stretch.
Looks like the 13 will lose another position. Maybe burnt his tires up. That, or maybe trying to work some strategy for something that he thinks the inversion will happen with.
And I'm not sure it's difficult to take that chance, as the inversion will be in about 7 laps, but you just don't know where it is, so it's difficult to predict where you need to be here in the closing laps before the competition caution.
So the 77 right back to the back of the 74. It looks like he'll try to settle in, though, and not try to pass him, as we still have 37 laps to go in this race.
As you see, the top 3 is pulled away just a little bit from 4th position in Brad Patton. It looks like Brad Patton is a little over a half a second back from the top 3 drivers here as they enter the backstretch. And it looks like some of these drivers are really getting loose going through the corners here, as we talked about in our ride around with Michael Duell, who is our in-race reporter tonight. being able to handle that loose condition is going to be the key to victory here as we hit lap 16 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
5 to go until a mandatory caution that will invert the field. You will be allowed to pit before or after the inversion. I'm not exactly sure, as it looks like the 74 will look to the inside of Michael Duell for that first position. So it looks like, as I'm getting aware, that everybody has to pit before the inversion. So that should make for very interesting.
As you see, the number 77 takes the second spot from Michael Duell as we work our way closer and closer to lap 20 here at the Integrity Racing League All-Star Race. Michael Guest is currently in the lead, followed by the 77 of Andrew Fayesh, as it looks a little loose coming through turns 3 and 4, as he's closely followed by the 88 of Michael Duell. Taking the 4th position is Brad Patton, and then rounding out your top 5 will be one of the transfer drivers of TJ Thompson, as he's making his first start here at Integrity Racing League and make a good showing for himself, as he's ahead of Matthew Wright in the 6th position, Joseph Pesciola in the 7th position, and then rounding out the field for tonight's race is Nick Stoller in the 00.
Or as it looks like the 18 of Brad Patton looked to the inside and barely tapped the 88, got him slightly loose and was able to get position on. It looks like the 77 will take the lead from the 74. As the 18 will look back to the inside of the 74 now. The 74 might lose 2 positions. Cannot get under him, though.
Yes, this time around we will be hitting lap 20, and at some point, once everybody crosses the start-finish line, the competition caution will wave, as we'll get ready, as the drivers will find out how many people will be inverted during this caution.
The 18 with a strong run that lap was able to pass 2 cars, came from 3rd to 1st in just a matter of from the start finish line to the beginning of the corner.
And that competition caution has come out here as we cross the line for lap 21.
So now the officials will sort out what the inversion is, and we will get to you when we know what the inversion is, but so
as the caution flag is out, let's go ahead and give a rundown of the field here tonight. Chance, why don't you take it away?
right now, before the inversion, Andrew Fayesh running in the 1st position, followed by Brad Patton, Michael Guest, TJ Thompson, and Michael Duell, who round out your top 5. In 6th position is Matthew Wright, followed by the number 99 of Joseph Piscata, and rounding out the field is the number 00 of Nick Stoller.
That's the right, Chance. As the drivers make their way to the pit lane, we are going to find out that the amount of drivers inverted will be 5 drivers. So that means that the number 88 machine of Michael Duell will be the 1st place driver when we restart this race, followed by TJ Thompson, Michael Guest, Brad Patton, and then Andrew Fayesh. The 3rd will be in 5th position.
So now, as all the cars will come into pit road, remember on iRacing, you can't really stack the field in the middle of a race. So they will make their pit stops, and then officials will order them where to go out and where to begin their pacing. As they roll off pit road, once everybody has crossed the line for the next time, we will give you an update on positions.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are coming out of pit lane as we speak, and the guys from 5th place on or 6th place on back will remain in those positions, and weren't lucky enough to get an inversion spot to move their way up and gain that track position. They'll have to battle it out the hard way for these remaining laps. As you see the drivers slowly making their way around and catching up with the pace car as it crosses the line.
So, as all the cars will cross the line here, it'll be Michael Dole, TJ Thompson, Michael Guest, Brad Patton, and Andrew Fayash who round out your top 5. And then Matthew Wright, Joseph Piscata, and Nick Stoller who will round out the rest of your field.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, Chance, now that we have inverted the field and that is out of the way, it's time to just strap the belts tight, get on top of the wheel, and go get the cash. We'll see how much the intensity picks up with these remaining laps.
Unlike how some of the inversion could have worked out, where we could have had some slower cars up front, really the top 5 have been there the whole race. The only one in the top 5 that hasn't led tonight is the number 42 of TJ Thompson.
Yeah, that's right, Chance. So far in the event, we have not had any cautions except for our competition caution, and everybody's kept it pretty clean. I'm interested to see if that strategy is going to change as the race goes on, because I think the intensity level will pick up dramatically, and people who might be willing to give up spots earlier in the event, I don't think will be giving up those spots here as the laps tick off.
As we come back to 1 to go here, double file the whole field, 8 cars. Remember, it's small field tonight.
Yeah, these drivers are really getting focused in as they know they're hitting the final stretch here for the All-Star race and really trying to do the best they can to keep the guys behind them. As you look, you have drivers who are in the DWC and Andrew Fayash, who's had 7 wins. Drivers like Michael Guest, who have been very fast all night, whether it be in practice or the race itself. And then you have drivers who are seasoned regulars here with Brad Patton and Michael Dole and Matthew Wright, all looking to take that opportunity to grab the win in a very high-profile race here in Integrity Racing League. As the drivers are double file through turns 3 and 4, we're going to get ready to see what will be the last 25 laps of the event here tonight, as we'll eclipse the halfway mark. The pace car is getting ready to turn down onto the pit lane, and the green flag is out as Michael Dole jumps on the throttle and pulls at least 3 to 4 car lengths over the other 2 drivers of Michael Guest and TJ Thompson as he gets a bad start going into turn 1, and he'll drop all the way back to almost 5th position.
Yeah, that start really stacked up that outside lane, giving Dole almost a half a second lead by the time that he got to 1.
I can see back further in the field that the number 18 of Brad Patton was pushing Matthew Wright into the corner to try to get around the 42 as he's falling back several spots through the field.
Now, the 42 is a transfer from the All-Star or the All-Star Open, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest battle for position right now is for now second position as Matthew Guest gets on the inside of Andrew Fayash going into turn 3. Yeah, this move allows the number 88 of Michael Dole to pull away slightly from the field. Well, not slightly anymore, actually, as it looks like he's going to be close to over a half a second ahead of Michael Guest as he completes the pass on Andrew Fayash going into turn 1. And it looks like it's really picking up here further back in the field as the 99 of Joseph Pisciotta is battling with TJ Thompson and Brad Patton for position. He's looking to make up for the lost time as he was not one of the ones as part of the inversion in his Clorox 99 Silverado. He will move up to the 5th position and look to set his sights on Matthew Wright for 4th place. He'll have to get it done quickly here as the laps are ticking off in this all-star race. As we look further up in the field, it'll be the number 88 of Michael Duell who's still in the lead, as the number 74 looks to run him down for the 2nd position. That'll be Michael Guest. And 3rd will be the 77 of Andrew Fayosh to 3rd. In 4th position will be the number 13 of Matthew Wright. And then the closest battle so far is between the number 99 of Joseph Peschiata and the 42 of TJ Thompson as they battle for the 5th position. And it looks like the number 99 gets really loose coming off of turn 4, and he will give up the 5th position to the 42 of TJ Thompson. And as we look here, the 74 falls back 2 spots into the clutches of this group, as something must have happened to him coming off of turn 4 as well. This group is really getting bunched up as you see the 13 try to take a look to the bottom going into turn 3, but will not make the pass stick. It is really tight behind. Oh, the 74 gets loose coming off of turn 4. The 42 of TJ Thompson will look to the inside and bring the 99 with him going into turn 1. The action is really picking up as we have crossed the line for lap 31 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Great racing all the way back to the field. Michael Duell pointed out to over a 2nd lead because of all this racing back here, but it's great racing. They're still trying to get up to the 1st position because the 1st position is the only one that matters, and number 42 bounces into 13. They both save it.
Yeah, the action is really picking up here, Chance, as the number 42 of TJ Thompson is taking no prisoners as he door slams the 13 of Matthew Wright, sending him to the outside wall. That door slam will bring TJ Thompson to the 3rd position and closing in on Andrew Fayosh to 3rd.
Fayosh trying to close the gap between him and Michael Duell. Not sure if, without a caution, if he can really do that, as Duell actually seems to be pulling away.
You're right, Chance. It looks like that Michael Duell has pulled out almost a 1.4-second lead on the rest of the field, which shows how strong his machine is, as usually the draft is able to bring everybody back together when you race at these mile-and-a-half tracks like here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Wreck back in the field between the 18 and the 99. That is the first wreck of the race.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the replay here, Chance, and see what happened between those 2 drivers, as definitely the intensity level was picking up back further in the field from around 4th to 7th position.
Oh! 42 just spun under braking trying to get slowed down. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe some damage to that car.
Yeah, it looks like the 99 there will be the one who gets the worst end of that, as we're coming around to lap 35 there. And hopefully he'll be able to use his reset for the event and get back into the race.
So, after possible pit stops here, we will actually begin an interview here with Michael Duell, our current leader, who just had a 2.5-second lead taken from him, as it looks like he will head down towards pit road. Everybody will pit. A 74 hits that commitment cone.
Yeah, Chance, it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out if the 88 team will be able to get his driver back out in the lead, as he's done his job for the race to this point. Now it's up to the pit crew to do theirs. And as the drivers are coming out of the pit lane,
the 77 looks like he took 2 tires and he'll make it out first. Followed by the 88 of Michael Duell, the 42 of TJ Thompson, and then 74 of Michael Guest.
Yeah, that's right. And as they are coming off the pit lane, we have the number 88 driver with us, Michael Duell. Michael Duell, you have a copy.
Yeah, 10-4.
All right, Michael, I know you're probably the last one that wants to see that caution come out, as you're almost a second and a half ahead of the rest of the drivers. How good has your car been throughout the opening stages of this All-Star race?
It took a little bit of learning how to drive the truck in the conditions we're in here. It's a little tight off of 1 and 2 there, so I had to adjust just a little bit, and didn't mind them back there fighting for a second. It just kept holding them off, and yeah, I had a second and a half lead there when that caution come out. Definitely didn't need to see that.
Now, we are getting ready to approach probably around 12 laps to go when you will go back to green flag racing, and you have the number 77 of Andrew Fayash ahead of you, who took 2 tires. Do you have any idea as to how you're going to be able to get around him, or what are your expectations for this final run?
Well, yeah, he's got 2 tires. He's going to be really tight in 1 and 2. He's going to have to lift a lot more than I'm going to have to worry about. I'll probably drive around him pretty quick. Shouldn't take much.
I understand there, Duell. Getting ready to go back to green, probably at 2 to go right now. Are you worried about any of the drivers back behind you? You have the 42 of TJ Thompson, who is a transfer driver, and then Michael Guest behind him. He'll actually be right behind you on the restart there, Michael. Are you worried about them? Maybe they get a little aggressive trying to take the money as we get towards the final laps, and how do you counter that?
I think that 74 is looking a little strong. He seems to make his way back and forth through the field. He's probably going to be something to mess with. And then TJ up here, he's been up front all race long. Not very good on the starts, but he makes his way up here. So we'll see what we got here in about less than 10 laps to go, I guess.
That is right, Michael Duell, as we're going to be coming up with about 12 laps to go when we go back to green. Is there anybody, once again, would you like to thank?
Oh yeah, I just want to thank everybody for watching, checking out the cool broadcast. Thank you guys for doing it, and hopefully we'll bring home a victory tonight.
And once again, that is Michael Duell, driver of the number 88 machine, as we come up on 1 lap to go here as before the restart, as we have Andrew Fayash on the inside, and the outside of him is the aforementioned Michael Duell. Taking the 3rd position is TJ Thompson in the number 42 machine. And the outside of row number 2 will be Michael Guest, looking to make a strong run and finish out the race with a great finish. And then rounding out your top 5 will be the 13 of Matthew Wright. All right, Chance, we're getting down to it. Who do you think's going to be able to take the win? You've seen them run for a few laps. Who is your pick? Are you going to change your pick?
I am going to change my pick. I'm going to go with Michael Duell. Now that Andrew Fayash has 2 tires, I don't see 2 tires working out to his advantage. I mean, it's a very risky call to take, but I'm going to say Duell. Duell will get it. As we come off at turn 4 here, the pace car will hopefully, for the final time, take that hard left turn, down to pit lane. As the pace car pulls off. Andrew holds the start. Andrew gone. Now, great start. Duell could not get it going. 74 pushing Duell now.
Yeah, that'll bring the number 42 of TJ Thompson to his inside in a battle for second. And it looks like a spin in turn 1. Michael Duell, along with a couple others, have been turned around going into turn 1. It looks like this 88 and the 74 got together there. That's one of the things we talked about with Michael during our in-race report. And it looks like the bad luck has come to fruition for him, as he has heavy rear end damage as he works his way to catch up with the field.
But remember, there is reset, so he should be able to get a reset and get right back in this race, as there will be somewhere around 7 laps to go when we go back green. And it looks like that caution was caused from the 18 pushing that 74 down in the corner, really, and just kind of giving him a little bit too much speed and going up into Duel a little bit. But Duel also came down.
That's right, Chance. It looks like that has collected the 13 of Matthew Wright as well, as he has some rear damage on the right rear side of his machine. Yeah, that is definitely going to be interesting to hear about at the end of the race, as I think there's definitely some contact made between those two drivers. And it looks like even the 99 has some damage on his left and right hand side. As we see a few drivers coming back down pit lane here at Texas Motor Speedway. Nick Stoller in the 00, the 13 of Matthew Wright, Michael Duell, who both were involved in the wreck. In addition to that, the 74 Michael Guess is making his way back into pit lane. 4 tires, and probably to fix a little bit of damage, as I think he is the culprit of this caution. Now it's going to be very interesting as we have the top 2 here who are able to avoid everything of Andrew Fiash III, as well as TJ Thompson now take your top 2 spots, followed by the 18 of Brad Patton in the 3rd position, who's able to miss that. And then the 4th position, even though he has lots of damage, will be the 99 of Joseph Peschiata.
In the 5th position is Michael Guest, followed by Nick Stoller, Matthew Wright, and then Michael Duell, who round out the field.
Well, we mentioned at early part of this broadcast that when you got past the inversion point of the race that the intensity would pick up, and that is definitely held true as we are within 10 laps to go, and we have had 2 cautions here after the inversion point that has really changed the complexion of this race, as Michael Duell, who looked to be dominating the race, now is actually all the way back in the 8th position as he is a part of this last caution.
Yeah, and it also looks like he did not get a reset there. He must have had some contact before that first pit stop, so that probably puts an end to his chances at winning this.
Yeah, it looks like the number 13 of Matthew Wright has come down to the pit lane as well, as he must not have got a reset either. And he'll have to make do with what is left of his machine for the remaining 8 laps or so of the event. And this might be a race with the money on the line where the tempers will flare at the end of this one, as we mentioned the intensity has picked up and the drivers are on top of the wheel looking to make up the most spots they can, as second place goes home with nothing. So it's a winner-take-all event here at the Texas Motor Speedway, and you either bring home the trophy or bring home the steering wheel, and anything else doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that leads to some hard and intense racing. You hope nobody decides to turn anybody on purpose to get that position, because I've seen some crazy things in some money races before. So it's definitely not out of the ordinary for it to happen.
Yeah, that's right there. And it looks like we're coming to 1 to go here. I do want to get a plug in real quick for ProPowderandPaint.com, as they are the main sponsor for the Integrity Racing League during their regular season events, the 27 races of the regular season. Once again, that is Pro Powder and Paint. You can check them out at www.propowderandpaint.com. Once again, you see the pace car lights are out and the drivers are double file as they reach the back stretch here at Texas Motor Speedway. And they're going to have about 7 or 8 laps left in the race to find out who will be taking home the victory here at the Integrity Racing League the Integrity Racing League All-Star event. As you see TJ Thompson on the outside there right next to Andrew Fayash. He's going to need to get a better start here on this restart if he wants to have a chance at taking home the trophy tonight. And the pace car should be pulling off here. They're nose to nose, bumper to bumper here. The pace car pulls off, And Andrew Fayash takes the green flag as Brad Patton moves to the inside of TJ Thompson, and that'll be the first battle of the race going into turn 1.
77, great start again. That was my pre-race pick, as they're also 2x2 all the way back through the field. Michael Dole making it 3 wide going into the corner. He will almost get into the 74. As he's able to make position, though, that was a great move.
That was a dominating move by Michael Dool, who was able to work from the back of the field all the way back up to second, as the 0-0 of Nick Stoller is through the grass. Will he be able to save it entering the track?
What a save by that 0-0 car of Nick Stoller. I didn't think he was going to be able to keep it. As Michael Dole now stalking down the number 77 of Andrew Fayash.
Yes, Michael Dool is setting his sights on Andrew Fayash coming off of turn 4, but the battle is for the positions behind him as everybody wants to get up to the top place.
I'd say the battle's for the lead now as the 88 will look to the inside of the 77, taps him a little bit right there in the center. Lucky that wasn't big.
Yeah, the 88 with the fresh tires is going to do everything he can to get around the 77. If you'll remember, he took 2 tires the last time he pitted, so he's going to have some work to do to hold off the 88 of Michael Dool as they come off of turn 4. The 77 will block to the bottom and try to hold the position.
But the 88 is going to stay in his drive, but he hits the grass trying to pass. That's how anxious he is to get back to this lead. And this racing also brings the 74 right back into it.
And there is a block all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. The 88 will hold off the 74 going to turn 3, but I don't know how long that will last, as that will allow the number 77 of Andrew Fayash to pull out to about 2-car length lead as we hit lap number 48. There will be 3 laps to go in the event.
88 blocking big time, trying to keep the second position, hoping that the 77 slips, and he's able to take that position from him, that or run back up to him.
Now the 88's pulled away to about a car length over the 74. He will reset his sights on Andrew Fayash as they go through turns 3 and 4. He will have probably one last chance to try to take the lead and the win for the event. We'll have to look and see if Dool will put the bumper to Andrew going into turn 1.
Alright, as we're on 2 to go. The 88, remember 4 tires, the 77 on 2.
And that 88 is right with him there.
As he'll look to the bottom almost again, he'll to the outside of the 77 as they cross the line. I don't know if that's going to work out or not. As 1 to go.
That's right, they are side by side through turns 1 and 2. Andrew Fayash has the preferred line, and now the 74 of Michael Guest will look to the inside for the second position. If they maintain like this, it will be Andrew Fayash's race.
As Andrew Fayash will come down through the final turn. Oh, Michael Dool in the back of the 74, and that will be the race. The number 77 of Andrew Fayash will win the Integrity All-Star Racing League All-Star Race.
Yeah, that was definitely some intense racing between the top 3 drivers there at the final laps of the event. As you had Michael Dool took the interesting route to try to go around him on the outside, but was not able to complete the pass and actually dropped all the way out to the top 5 by the time that was over. And hopefully here in the next couple minutes we'll get a couple of interviews with our top drivers here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. And it looks like that Andrew Fayash is doing his traditional reverse victory lap through turn 1 and 2. And hopefully once he's done doing burnouts, we'll get an interview with him as well.
Alright, and we're here with Michael Guest, your second place finisher. Such a close race, all race. I had that run fighting with Michael Duell. So, Michael, if you think you could have got past Michael Duell there in those closing laps, do you think you would have had anything for Andrew?
Honestly, I doubt it. The leader always had the clean air, so they weren't as tight as everybody else.
Alrighty, so, great race. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
My friends over on the other teams, we call them Keister, Sam Adams, all them.
Alrighty, Michael, great race. Congratulations on your second place finish. No, it doesn't pay anything, but still, pride is something to have. So now we'll send it back to Jacob, who will be with our in-race reporter, Michael Duell.
Yeah, we're looking to get with our in-race reporter, Michael Duell, here, as he was very close to taking the win in some very intense action through the final 5 laps. Michael Duell, you ended up finishing 5th position on the night, but that definitely does not reflect the hard racing and the dominant car it looked like you had through portions of this event.
Jesus Christ, that was intense. Oh my God. We're doing things that you don't normally do, blocking, driving in the grass, doing everything we can to get around the 77 there without trying to get ditched by Guest there at the end there. But man, that was intense.
Yeah, it looks like you actually had the faster car, or excuse me, truck, than Fayash, as we know he took 2 tires on that last pit stop. Do you feel like during the last couple laps there, you made the outside move to try to go on the outside? Do you feel that that was the best chance you had, or in looking back at it, do you feel that maybe you should have tried a different route?
Well, for about 2 laps there, I was on his tail, and I would wait for him to coast up in the corner because I knew he was going to get tight, and I could just stay on his bumper all the way around the track. But he'd come off the corner and take the low line, which would basically caused me to basically go in the grass. So I knew I had to go to the high line to try to pass him, and obviously on that white flag lap going into 1 on the high line, I just overshot it just enough to where Guest got under me, and it was over from there.
As you mentioned earlier, it was very intense racing in the last 10 to 15 laps, and you definitely put on a show for the fans tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
No, I pretty much thanked everybody. No, thanked everybody for watching. It was a good, clean race. That's the way racing should be. Thank you, Jacob, Chris, Chance, all you guys for doing a good broadcast, and we'll focus on the chase next week.
Yeah, that is Michael Duell and the 88 machine, as you'll look to him in the Chase Series coming up for the next 9 weeks. And now we have the winner of Integrity Racing League All-Star event, Andrew Fayash III. That was some great racing during the closing laps there between yourself, Michael Duell, and Michael Guest, who ended up finishing 2nd in the event. Give us kind of a replay in your head of what you were thinking through the final 5 laps or so.
Oh, well, after taking 2 tires on not only the last stop, but even when we had the break, I didn't take 4 the whole race. I took 2 every stop. I knew I was going to have to just protect the bottom. I was trying to loosen it up because it was tight in traffic, and then being out front, you know, obviously that's going to bite me in the butt. But I just knew if I didn't let him get under me, he wouldn't be able to do anything with me. And I mean, it's easy to slip up coming out of the corners, and it's easy for him to try to set up a run coming out if I slipped at all. But I did as good a job as I could of protecting the bottom, and it worked out.
Yeah, 2 tires was definitely an interesting call there during the break, and a call that obviously paid off. Do you feel that even with the 4 tires that Michael Duell made that run to the outside, did you feel like the intensity was picking up later stages of the race?
I mean, yeah, it obviously was picking up when he went through the grass a few laps before that to try to get under me. That made me realize how much he wanted to win. But I figured he was going to the outside to try to take my corner entry away, you know, it's a move. I think I did it on Michael in the first run, or I did it on somebody in the first run. If you go in on somebody's outside, you can take a wider arc and you can come out on the bottom with a little more speed. And I think he did that trying to set me up, but it kind of backfired a bit as Michael got under him before he was able to cut to the bottom. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty fun though.
Yeah, and with this win, you will be getting $25 in either iRacing credits or through a PayPal account, cash money, as they say. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that. And once again, congratulations on the victory. Is there anyone you would like to thank?
Just again, like earlier, I'd like to thank Galaxy Motorsports for standing behind me all this year through good times and the bad, and you know, with everything. And thank you guys for putting this on every week. It's a fun league. I love running here with you guys. It's always a blast. Also, I totally forgot about the $25. To be honest with you, I completely forgot there was even a prize on the line. So thanks to you guys for putting that up, or you know, whoever did. I honestly don't know offhand.
All right, that was the winner of tonight's race, Andrew Fayash III. As mentioned earlier, he'll be taking home $25 in cash for this event, as he was able to hold off the 74 of Michael Guest. Let's run down the finishing order real quick here at Texas Motor Speedway. As we mentioned before, the top two of Fayash and Guest. Following in the third position was Joseph Pesiota in the number 99 machine. In fourth position is Matthew Wright in the number 13. As we interviewed him earlier in this, at the conclusion of the race, I should say, Michael Dool in the number 88 machine takes home the fifth position. TJ Thompson, his first race of the season, transferring into the event, takes the sixth position. Seventh goes to Brad Patton in the number 18 Bud Light machine. And then rounding out the field, able to save the machine as he went through the grass towards the closing laps, is the number 00 of Nick Stoller. That rounds out your field here at Texas Motor Speedway. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors of Integrity Racing League, which is ProPowderAndPaint.com, and then Butt Kicker and the Butt Kicker Gamer 2. You can check out all of those things at www.thebuttkicker.com. And as we start to wrap up here from Texas Motor Speedway, I'd like to thank our producer tonight, Chris Freeman, for his incredible job broadcasting this event. I'd like to thank Jeffrey Sykes, who came up with our graphic design for our broadcast. And I'd also like to thank our broadcast partner, Chance Manning, for calling the race with me tonight. For them, my name is Jacob Fife, and we look forward to seeing you next week as the Integrity Racing League heads to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the beginning of our Butt Kicker chase for the championship. It should be exciting racing from Atlanta Motor Speedway, as we'll look forward to the next 9 weeks. You can catch us each of those weeks on ETV Live. And Trevor Cameron from iRacing Today. Once again, thank you for watching us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Have a great night.